Prismir.
Nice work. I see you haven't forgotten how to handle yourself in a fight. Still, this is bad. I didn't think the Tuatha would reach this far. At least not so soon. Obviously, the Tuatha have bigger plans than just killing you. Infusing the trolls with Prismir, trying to bring the war to Dalantar? Niralim was right to be concerned. Aren't I always? But have patience. For now, why not take comfort in knowing that you saved Niralim and his forest? Go, talk to the tree. I'm sure he'll allow you into Isa. I'll stay here and finish off any remaining Tuatha. You can tell the old mossy log yourself. I'll be tracking down any other Tuatha that may have come this far west. I'll find you again when the time is right.
You return, and in your wake, Dalentarth blossoms. The flow is rearranged, now and forever. Nash's brood is at an end. You have destroyed what was written, and made a new fate for Dalentarth. Even your darkest ally walks a lighter path. And yet the Tuatha still spread, marching with Prismeer and pain. You have only delayed our doom. You have the power of an immortal, and yet the humility to ask for help. Little one, I envy your grace. You shall carry my blessings with you. You must know this, Quickling. The age is changing. Immortals are passing, and the future belongs to the young races. If there is a future to be had. Go, and stand at the heart of the She. There you will find Issa, and perhaps you will find wisdom as well. Nash and her brood would have spread across Dalentarth and brought the taint of Prismeer with them. So it forever was to be, until you set about to stop it. Only the path of your own choosing. Stand at the heart of the She. And if that path includes the gardens of Issa, I shall allow it. May your path be long and evergreen.
Careful where you tread, for these grounds are sacred.
The great tree speaks to few. Consider yourself blessed.
Niralim, may your wisdom grow within us all.
Niralim was a sapling long ago, when Dalentarth was a barren waste.
mortals are such passionate things. You exhibit such lack of judgment.
I'd advise you to leave me to my task. You could say I have a mortal's temper.
Welcome to the Gardens of Issa, home of the Summer Court, and the warm heart of the Feylands. It is a rare occasion for us to welcome a child of dust into Issa, but it is equally rare that Niralim chooses a champion. Pleased to meet you. I am Chancellor to the High King. I pray you enjoy our hospitality. High King Titarian is Lord of the Summer Fae, the font of all our wisdom, and first amongst the immortals. And since Godflow tragically murdered the High King of the Winter Court, Titarian is the greatest and last true leader left of our kind. The sapling of the World Tree bears centuries of great wisdom. Of course, long-lived as Niralim is, it is still regrettably mortal. Even all greatest mortal wisdom cannot compare to the perspective given by true agelessness. Begging your pardon, of course. We are the Summer Court, the very embodiments of courage, honor, and all things bright and proud. Some envious few in the Winter Court would call us arrogant and self-righteous, as well as all manner of other epithets. But remember, we are the ones who stayed true to tradition, while they turned to barbarism. The Tuatha find new recruits from our ranks. The ranks of the Fae were not always sullied by the presence of anything so coarse as the Tuatha. Once, the Summer and Winter Courts existed in harmony. But Godflow perverted the Winter Court with talk of his new god, and from that poison, the Tuatha arose. Too many mortals misunderstand the Winter Court. Our cold cousins are not evil, but merely evoke the darker truths of nature, from subtlety to decay. Perhaps it makes sense that children of dust are put off by those who embody their inevitable death, but it is regrettable that so many are misunderstood. Truly a place of wonder, as it has always been and always shall be. Here springs the life well of Dalentarth, and the greater Feylands in all directions. It is a pity that some of our kind have fallen to such degenerative states, but we cannot shed a tear for their weakness.
I understand.
I preferred it
but
when
the
the
High
gardens
King
were
will only meet
peaceful.
with those who have sought an audience. If you wish to gain permission, you will need to visit the Hall of Appointments.
If you have any questions, speak with Gryamar near the city entrance. He's very helpful.
Please, come forward into the light of the font. Don't linger there. I need to see you. Closer. Ah, nothing noble about you. That must mean you're the one Erwin is expecting on the trellis. Go there, but be sure to retire to Felltown when you're finished. High King Titarian fulfills his role as our wise ruler. He gathers around him the bravest and most gifted advisors, and together they make up the Court of Summer. Like his predecessors, Titarian's goal is to maintain the Great Cycle, and to keep the balance that has sustained us for all these many seasons. It is a special district set aside for the young races. A haven, if you will. We encourage you to stay within its confines for your own protection. Do not worry. Felltown has the amenities that your kind need to lead a mortal life, such as merchants, a smithy, and a tavern for evening exploits. The gardens have been here since the first of our kind sprang forth. Only in the last few mortal years have we chosen to make it known to your people, with good reason. This is a safe place, and we intend to keep it that way. To that end, we ask mortals to adhere to the Peace Edict, which forbids weapons in the city. Every living creature in our world is part of a chain of death and rebirth, even the Fae. However, when we pass into the flow of our great cycle, we return again. The king rules from his throne high above on the font, and he has done so for many seasons. You should know this, since you've been sent to speak with him. Most mortals in Issa are stripped of weapons upon entering the city. However, there are a few exceptions. Ambassadors and guests of the Nerelim. We do this for your own protection, of course. There is a fire in dustling blood that must be quenched by violence. I've never understood it. The font is older than everything around you. It is the origin from which we flow. If you search for the heart of Summer Court magic, you will find the font. Once, the understyle was all around you, spreading from the garden's gates to the great trunks of the trellis. But that was before the mortals came. There is little that mortals need to know about the trellis, for it is where the worthy await their moment before the High King. Everyone who stands before the light of the sun must prepare themselves, lest they be blinded. It is behind me, up the great winding stairs. Farewell.
The Court of Summer will see me soon, I'm certain of it.
It's not hard to find the embassy. Just listen for the arguing. You won't stay. No.
Pauline will not tell you this. She disapproves of pride. She does embody nature's truth, a sharp and silent, simple truth. And yet Pauline will always shine among the ballad's lore. For humble though her carriage be, a greater knight we'll never see.
Tell me of the authorities' gifts.
There is but one true pattern, one design. It is the authorities. Everything is his.
They'd like us to stay out of the understyle. That's their district. Our kind linger in the shadows of Felltown.
Is it just me, or does the water level seem to be dropping? I must be seeing things. They say the font's flow never falters.
How do you know to believe?
There is but one true pattern, one design.
Yes, what do you want? I take this responsibility very seriously.
We're friendly enough in Felltown, but we still like to keep our secrets. Everyone is listening.
Issa is very tense these days, what with the Crystal War and magic. The Fae seem to revel in their ignorance.
You will feel at home here, mortal. There's plenty of deceit and hatred to keep you interested. That is what interests you, is it not?
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war. It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alphard and Varani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception. The Almain are new to diplomacy, but there are still several powerful titles available for purchase. It's your money, friend. Spend it wisely, and as you choose. See you later, friend. Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I am Ambassador Odvar, he who bloodies the waters. Lead me to my business. How may the Varani be of assistance to you this day? Our time is not to be wasted. I have served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought, the Battle of Wills. I enjoy being this close to those I'm competing against. That's what this is, isn't it? A conflict in which we struggle to gain the ear of the Fae. As always, the Varani will triumph. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. The High King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the hands of the Tuatha, Fae, but the Fae themselves show no remorse. Titarian and the Summer Court will know our anger, and they will aid us or perish. The Varani allow the purchase of several titles for use in the gardens of Issa. They are rare and should be worn with great respect. No skin from my nose. Your business is your own, as is mine. Lead me to my business.
I am Ambassador Brenner. If you wish to deal with the Varani, I am your contact. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it.
What do you want?
I met with the Court of Summer just recently. Titarian was quite gracious, although he didn't grant any of my requests.
I apologize, but one of my station has many obligations to attend to. Please, excuse me.
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? I have no love for the other races here, if that's what you're asking. The Varani are coarse and brutal, while the Alpha are scheming and treacherous. The Allmain, well, they don't leave much of an impression, if I must be honest. I'll forgive them for their blandness. After all, they are so young. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature. A fascinating amalgam that should be explored. We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this. Their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursas. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. Of course, it's one simple service I can provide. Perhaps with time and effort, you will one day reside with us here, in the embassy. We all must consider our choices, until we speak again. Goodbye.
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. No? A bribe, is that what you want? Listen to me. I'm no one's plaything. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I thought Issa would be different, but it's just another nest of snakes. I don't believe the Fae see the Lossulfar and Dokulfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict generalities, along bloodlines and origins. Sometimes working alongside the Dokulfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours. You think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young soldier back home who waits for me. But can I be with him before he sails? No, I have to administer to the Fae. The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quickly as you came. It's a den of deceit and malice. You don't want friends like these. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. That's fine. If you change your mind, please do come back. Farewell.
Our days are hard petitioning the court, pleading with the High King. Whoever said an ambassador's life was easy?
Turn away, mortal. The Den of Night is meant for the impudent. Your entrance shall be denied. It is where the brazen and unrepentant are sent to consider their crimes. Must I point out that the Den of Night's occupants are almost always mortals? They are given time to reflect, and when they are ready, they may brave the beasts of the Hollow to return to us here on the surface. It's a great privilege for mortals to reside in this, our most sacred dwelling. Try to deny your dustling impulses and resist from killing each other. My own telling has brought me here to the Gardens of Issa, to act as one of its guardians and caretakers. I'll protect it from any threat, including you. Farewell.
I am Ambassador Brenna. If you wish to deal with the Varani, I am your contact.
Your mortal ambassadors will not give up. It is both admirable and pathetic. I marvel at how such diverse mortal races can coexist in one city. I wonder how long it will last.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the great font of Issa finds its source. Yes?
Oh, was that it? No. Oh, I can't remember. Welcome to the Lyceum Grove. I am Jackson. It is strange to see a mortal so far from Felltown. Farewell, mortal. Please, look around. It is good for mortals to get out of Felltown and learn the ways of the Fae. I enjoy the mortal world immensely. It adds such texture and color to our experience. Now and then you might find me in your dustling district, taking in the bustle. I am the steward of tinctures and elixirs. A meaningless title, one I gave myself, actually. But my work is vital, as is my role, to test the font's magic. This is where we watch over the font, the source of magic in the Gardens of Issa. It is a fountainhead that is nourished for as long as this world has been. The font's flow can be measured, directed, and even regulated, depending on the needs of our people. Font Master Nomoran attends to these duties. He has the role of monitoring the font's flow throughout the city and the Feylands. His telling is not to be envied, as it is one of our most important. Font Master Nomoran insists that everything flows as it should, yet I have seen his worry, and I feel the magic weakening. Strange forces are at work. It may be difficult to believe, But the city was once inhabited only by Fae. The understyle consisted of everything growing beneath the font. Now this important section of the Isa is but a dark corner, all but forgotten. Goodbye.
Greetings.
If sage crafting intrigues you, visit Orlana. She is always in need of help.
All who wish to see Titirian must go through Olana here in the Hall of Appointments.
Sage Crafting Services here. I do hope you are staying safe, stranger. I wouldn't want you to tear that skin of yours or leave it to disease. It is the only one you possess. This is where those who seek an audience with the Summer Court must first make their claim. And once that claim is honored, I will prepare them for reception. The Fae fulfill roles in the telling, be it king or steward. If one wishes to ascend the heavens, one must abide by the laws of nature. Your kind has tried for so long to gain access to this sacred place, to be near us. Yet here you all are, and I rarely see a single mortal in the understyle. What do they fear, I wonder? I am the attendant of the court's list, and the lady of receivership. I am trained in all aspects of courtly customs and stand 12th closest advisor to the High King. Goodbye.
Do you have the authority to be here? The gardens of Isa are for the privileged few with papers.
Pretty evening, isn't it? Your crystal war will never come here to Isa. All seasons change, and rebirth waits around every corner.
More dustlings in Isa? Another sign of our impending doom, I believe. Not surprising. Bad news never is. They make up the most powerful body in the world, especially now that the mortal races have become embroiled in conflict. A second spring is coming, mark my words. I remember a cycle, a great many seasons, when your kind did not trample the gardens of Isa. This city was the ideal in those times. It is forever tainted now. I spent many seasons wandering the wood of the She, acquiring the knowledge necessary to better serve the Summer Court. But does Titirian care? Never. Such groveling is beneath me. Such spectacles of royalty and procedure. I may be able to wait an eternity for an audience, but the untended garden grows wild. He's the most beautiful of us, a being of absolute perfection. It is a shame he must grace the mortal realm in a physical form. His true brilliance is beyond you.
early evening, isn't it? If you'll be so kind as to not disturb us in our reverie, it is the least you can do.
Keep your weapons sheathed. I met with the Court of Summer just recently. Tarion was quite gracious, although he didn't grant any of my requests.
Greetings. What have I done now? Someone in Issa is always looking to send me away. But I won't go. No. Yes? What do you need now, Dustling? All those who come to greet the king must first be granted permission by the Hall of Appointments in the Understyle, which, I might say, seems rather inconvenient. You mortals are talented at fighting what is natural. Perhaps this is your influence. I have heard he is a noble spirit, a beacon of wisdom and calm in this changing world. I will never know for certain if this is true, unless I look upon him directly. I have done little in my many seasons than venture to this place and attempt to gain an audience with King Titarian. I have yet to succeed, but I keep coming.
Mortals in Issa.
Ignore Steward Brio. He is always in a panic. Always one step behind in his feet.
You won't stay. No one does. You should come by town later tonight. That's when we children of the dust really show the Fae what it means to live.
It is a glorious day.
Have a nice day.
All are welcome in the Understyle. Your kind doesn't feel the desire to explore. Mortals, so curious. Yes, mortal? This is the Trellis, gateway to the Court of Summer and His Excellency the High King. Nice to see you.
I would return to Felltown if I were you, mortal. We do not suffer fools gladly here on the Trellis.
Move along. I must not be bothered.
Are you supposed to be up here? The trellis is for those of high esteem and importance.
What can I do?
Avoid Nomoran. He is a fool and an instigator. What do you want?
Lady Hartran waits and waits, but will the High King ever see her? That's the question. They have a history, you know.
Welcome to the trellis, Dustling. This is a sacred walk. You gaze down from heaven upon the ruin that mortals have wrought. Just look at the House of Valor, the crumpled husk of its former self. Is this the fate of all our kind? To be wrung in the hands of the mortal world, to wither and fade? Every one of our kind has a gift, they say, a role in the telling. Mine is to seek harmony with nature, by keeping the wild fae under control. I am the Reaper. Most of my seasons are spent in the shadows of the canopy, tracking my prey. I have come to the gardens of Issa to report the decay of wild fae. They are disappearing, and the king must be informed. Either they are vanishing due to the decline in fae magic, or someone is hunting them. It's my duty to discover which story is true. The House of Seasons was where those in tune with the Great Cycle went to understand its many mysteries. But the Great House now stands empty, its occupants gone. King Titarian will not speak of it, but I know something has happened. Whatever it is, the signs are ominous. Growth is violent, and nothing can reach fruition without surviving conflict. That is nature's way. Our House of Valor celebrated that conflict. Now, however, this great house has fallen to mortals such as you. That is why this sanctuary has withered and faded. The magic is gone. The trellis was created as common ground where the members of the great houses may meet to share knowledge and search for answers. However, it's not been the same since the House of Valor fell and the House of Seasons was deserted. And I always thought that nothing changes. Goodbye.
What's this then?
The House of Seasons is no more. How can this be?
No, the peace edict is in effect. all mortals must keep their weapons. What is it?
Yes? Welcome to the gardens, mortal. But you have not come to visit the city, nor to speak with me. You are here on much graver errands. I can help you divine the role you will play in coming events, and the skills needed to finish that journey. We are a special breed, but you know that already. I am only a visitor here like you. Perhaps I was drawn to this place by something greater than myself. Perhaps it was you. This is where the Fae of Issa fulfill their roles in the telling. You mortals call it work, but we see it as following the cycle, letting our nature guide us. Farewell.
Do not use your weapons in the city.
Yes, Dustling.
What do you want?